Okay, so I see that I'm live. So I'm a bit of a night owl. So sometimes, not always, but sometimes I am. And I thought I talk about a subject that I've never talked about on my channel before. And as you can hopefully see, and I know people are not going to join maybe right now, or they might join later. Um, but there's a subject that I wanted to talk about because my name is Ricardo, and people normally call me Rick because I speak very good English, and because I was born here, you know, and I speak Spanish as well. Yo puedo hablar español, right? And the cool thing is the fact that I can speak two languages is really unique in a way because then um, I can communicate and even translate to different people. So the subject that I wanted to bring up was it's about a guy that was killed. I believe it was in 19. I'm sorry. It was in 1965. Malcolm X. Um, so and I remember reading a book about him when I was in college, and it was a black friend that said, you know what, because he said, you know what, read this book, and then you'll learn about the way I think, so to speak. And he didn't own a gun or anything like that. I have no guns. I don't carry weapons. My weapon is right here in my mind. And I don't even use that as a weapon. It's just for my own mental health, so to speak. But Malcolm X, he changed his name because he turned Muslim, right? And he went through this journey. He was in prison because he used to be a robber. He was a thief. But while he was in prison, he learned about the Muslim movement. And I'm not religious, right? But that changed his life. He didn't drink alcohol. He stopped drinking alcohol, and then he changed his whole. He started to pray, and a church or prayer is great as long as you're not interfering with someone else's. Is the only way I think. And Malcolm X was great because he got killed possibly by his own people because they were jealous that he was such a great speaker. And then when Malcolm X um, uh, united with Martin Luther King, then that's when everything went south, so to speak, or went bad. Uh, and then he got shot publicly in his own church or whatever it was, and uh, it was disgusting. But like I watched like the movie, different movies. I watched different documents about him, but I read the book first, and I was like, "Wow, this is powerful." And I wasn't even born then. I was born. I was born in the 1970s. I'm 50, so you can figure out the math. And it's crazy, man. how he risked his life to save black people, to save racial destruction, is what it is. Call it the way it is. Racial death. He always said, not always, but sometimes he said, we will protect ourselves by any means necessary, which means if police have firearms, we will hold firearms. And that's one of the reasons that, over time, and I'm 50 years old, I'll say it again, why I love First Amendment auditors. They protect the Constitution, which is not protected by people who are sworn to be public. Basically, what they are is public servants to the government, to the city or state that they're in, because as taxpayers, we pay their salary, and it's crazy, man. So we're now these changes that we've gone or that we've gone through, like COVID and all that. It's still a government system. So, but when you talk about killing, here, I'll say it this way. When you talk about killing someone because of their skin color, that's different. That is, you are a tyrant. You're a murderer. It's crazy. Why would I don't understand that concept. Like, it's crazy, man, because the thing, like Malcom X back in the day, he would give speeches, and it's not about the speech. The speech is great, but the content is better, because the content is describing how, let's say, I'll say it this way, how he describes slavery, right? He describes slavery as there's a house Negro and there's a field Negro. So the field Negro is working, and the house Negro says, well, or the field Negro says, why don't we move away? Why don't we get away from these white people, or masters is what they were. And the house Negro says, why would I want to move away? What do I got better than here? He's the house Negro. I'm just describing it the way he's described it, and it makes sense to me. Like, slavery was horrible. And you know what? The truth is, it's still happening. For example, trafficking. Slavery trafficking, like sexual. My channel might get taken down, or I might get a strike, but I'm going to talk about this because it's important. There is sexual trafficking. Kids get kidnapped, women, men, whoever get kidnapped, and they get drugged up or whatever, and they're forced to do sexual acts on other people for money. And they don't make anything. They're just now so to speak, and they're kidnapped, so they're trapped. They're slaves, and it happens. And then you know um, the other subject that I could talk about. I'm sorry, I'm trying to recharge my charger here. The other subject I wanted to talk about was like when children grow up, they don't know anything, right? Like I was a kid, right? I didn't know anything, so I believed whatever I was told. But as I got smarter, or my common sense sort of outgrew the indoctrination, I started to rethink about certain things, you know. But if kids, okay, this has never happened to me, or maybe once, but I'm not going to talk about that. But kids get touched the wrong way, because of pedophiles. And it's pedophiles are just, that pattern never stops. And you know, and I sub to different channels that are pedophile catchers, and I watch it. I get the same. I see. I'm sorry, I don't get it. I don't do it, but I see the same reaction of every pedophile. Oh, I didn't know she was 13. I didn't know he was 13, because on his profile it says 18. But then they say, well, he told you he was 13, or she told you she was 13. And then they start talking sexual stuff. I'm not going to say what they say, and they start giving pictures, like nasty pictures of themselves. That's crazy, man. So there's a lot of exposure out there that does exist. So yeah, I'm sorry. I needed to let out. But anyway, Malcolm X. Please watch here. Okay, I did copy and paste it, or I'll paste it right now. Okay, so that's one of the videos that hopefully anybody can watch, and it's about him speaking about the house Negro and the field Negro. If not, I can pick another one. That was in 1963. That was 10 years before I was born. So and you can see, like, I don't know, when I watch this documentary or this replay of it, I watch it and I'm like shocked that these white, and I hate to say this word because I'm light skinned. I'm basically white in a way, but I'm not white. Because I can speak Spanish, and my parents are from Mexico. So, but they're light skinned. They're lighter than I am. So, I don't know how that happens. That's something I have no idea. Maybe there's some whatever. I don't care. I don't care. I'm living my life. Okay. So anyway, in this documentary, and I've watched different movies with him in it, and and one of them is one from Denzel Washington that he did with Spike Lee, and Spike Lee directed the movie, and Denzel portrayed him really well. He did his speeches like beautiful. Um, the other thing was that when I watched that movie, I saw that I saw that he they really did a great job with that movie, because I saw that he really did do his Denzel actually became Muslim, which I don't know if that's right or not. Because if you're just doing it as an actor, it's not cool, right? Muslims would not agree with you. But I think he just did it for that. At the same time, though, I think his role as Denzel Washington was pretty cool. So, yeah, my live stream is really basically about that. So, let's see, let me look. Nobody, well, somebody's watching, but it's cool. Whoever's watching, go ahead and keep watching. Let me see. Yeah. So, Malcom X is, I'll say it this way. Malcom X is somebody that really changed my life in a way, because he tried to change the government about racial equality, and about stop killing black people, basically, because of their color of their skin, and it's crazy, man. Like, like, I'm light skinned, so what? What if I was black? What if I was dark skinned? I've, I've talked to so many different cultures, um, Indians, or I'm sorry, like Indians from India, um, Polish, Canadians, people from different states in the U.S., and they might have a twang, so to speak. Um, and New York, like Boston, right? I can fake it, but not very long. Um, but I speak Spanish as well, so hold on, need some water. So yeah, so I speak Spanish, and that's because I didn't learn it from a textbook or a school. It was because of my parents. Hold on. Yeah, I think I just got a strike. Okay, I don't know what happened there. See, uh, man, YouTube is kind of weird, man. Yeah, it said that I went offline for a bit, so I don't know. I've been talking about a lot of different subjects that are controversial to the mainstream, so I might get a strike. I've got a strike before, so or two strikes. Actually, I got two strikes. So I might get another one. So it might happen. I don't care. I just, the thing about me that if you whoever subs my channel or understands me in some way knows that I don't care. I do not care. I just talk truth or my experience. It might not be yours, and that's okay. But if you join the chat, we can have a chat about it. One of the things that I do is I listen. And that's it. That's my favorite thing. I listen. I can talk, but if somebody else is talking, I'll sit back and listen. So anyway, yeah. So again, I posted the link to Malcolm X City Desk, 1963. Malcolm X got killed in 1965, I believe, and I don't believe I know, and um, and at that time, at that time of 1963, 1964, there was a lot of black hatred, and always remember, if you don't remember, in the 1950s, there was blacks only and whites only to use the bathroom or to drink any water. Was blacks only or whites only. So there was separation in that time period. Now, really? And then that's after 1976 with the Constitution for human rights, where black men, after slavery was over, black men were only 5/5 of a human. But white people never gave up. They said whites only or blacks only. So racism never ends, man. It's true. Racism never ends. Never forget that. It's disgusting. And whenever I watch Malcolm X, it's just to remind me about the own things, the only things that, or the personal things that I've gone through about my own racist experience in life. And some people try to apologize. I was like, nope. No. There's people that are so ignorant with being privileged. Disgusting. So get over it. Sorry, I had to let that out. Gosh. All right. So let me see. Okay, so nobody's watching. Well, whoever wants to watch, rewatch it or whatever you want to do. I don't care. To be honest with you, I really don't care. I just wanted to let that out because it was really important to me to know that I was called a spick by white guys, white boys, when I was a kid because, my name is Ricardo, right? Well, I was called, my my name is Rick Montalvo. So, okay, but what if you were called a nigger? I never called anyone that. But what if you were called a spick? Would you feel offended? Or what if you were called? Let's see if you're a white person. I don't know what you call white people. Honky, cracker, right? Let's go through all the words. I will. What if you were called like what's the other word? A Jew, like what's a Jew called? See, I don't know. Don't really meet Jews very often. What if you call an Asian a zipper, a zipper head, because they have like slant eyes, right? So let's go through all the racial words. Get it out in the open. Comedians make fun of this all the time. And I love watching them make fun of other people doing it. Because they totally take them down. So anyway, so there's the link. If you want to click on it, watch it. Malcom X is dead. But he inspired me to understand why racism is horrible. So I'm going to end the live stream just like that. Bye.